so much killing. First time?
Megadeth and Metallica. The one scrappy underdog and the Metal Mount Olympus. Two of the greatest metal bands of all time, and one idiot on the internet will pit these two juggernauts head to head, album to album, song to song, to find out who truly is
Welcome to the first round of Megadeth versus Metallica, as we pit their first albums up against each other. Now, an explanation of how this will work. For those that have missed my previous versus videos, I usually pit these song to song. However, Metallica tends to have more songs on their album, whereas Megadeth just has more albums. For the first bulk of albums, they're fairly consistent with each other. But later on, when Metallica just decided to stop making albums, I'm gonna have to get clever. As for dealing with the issue of albums with more tracks, here is how I'm going to handle that. They will not be going up against another track, but will be taken into consideration at the end. If I think the track is worth it, it will get a bonus point. If I don't, no point. Those will be added on to the total at the end. Maybe at the end they'll come in clutch and give an album a win. I'll also tally all the songs each album gets as a win and use them at the end as a tiebreaker, just in case. In the word of fairness though, at the end, I will also do the same thing for Megadeth with their extra albums. I will definitely scrutinize those a lot harder though, because that's just a straight up extra point to your total overall. So I'll be much, much harsher. Now, just like last time when I usually do these, verses, I'm not going to include intro songs. Songs that are just a build-up, like no actual substance to them. No interludes. Pretty much any song that's just there as filler. I will, however, include instrumentals this time, as they are mainstays of both bands. Now, lastly, I know it's been well established that Megadeth is one of my all-time favorite bands tied with Styx. But Metallica is right up there. I will do my damnedest to be unbiased. Trust me, I know there is one of these matchups that's not going to be even close in Metallica's favor. But for the first few albums, except for the one I just alluded to, are going to be some extreme slugfests. So without further ado, let's get into this. You'd have to think, Dave Mustaine, he just left Metallica. Here's the first song. What will I hear? I know, piano, said nobody. It does a great job though setting up the creepy atmosphere before giving way to Dave's early berserk playing style, given birth from his anger, the desire to be the fastest. It just doesn't stop, and it shows what thrash would come to be. Head on over to Hit the Lights, and even though they were nowhere near that level yet, it fits in with that huge stadium feel that they'd soon be selling out. The intro just gives off that huge feeling. I love every aspect of this song except the bounce in the chorus. Not saying it's bad, just to me, I don't feel it fits with the rest of the feel of the song, as the rest is just blistering all over your face. This one is close, but as an intro song and as a tone setter, this one goes to Megadeth. I know this isn't the right spot for Motorbreath, but for those who know these albums, have a feeling of what I'm going on here. We get the title track from Megadeth pretty early. It does slow down a bit after Last Rites, but the intricate running riff is a staple to their sound, along with the ever-evolving song style instead of following the standard formula. Motorbreath is a classics track that perfectly instills the feeling of just racing around. It is a thrash classic, and this will be the only time I mention this until it's actually very necessary, but I am very much aware that Dave helped write most of these songs. But in this ranking, I will not count that against them, because at the end of the day, they are Metallica songs, and I just love the feel of Motorbreath, and it ties it up. Now, this is going to be the first landslide victory. Don't worry, another's coming very soon. One song does not get anywhere near enough love from the fandom, whereas the other, to me, gets a bit too much. Vic Rattlehead's theme song is a badass romp that if you've not heard it, do it. As for Jump in the Fire, I've just never been a big fan of that main riff. The verse is better in my opinion, but this track has a slight feeling of silliness I don't feel really fits. Again, that's just me. Megadeth back on top. We won't waste much time here. One is a frankly stupid cover with some guilty pleasure qualities to it. The other is Anastasia. Alright, now this is a matchup. two high-velocity moshing songs. Everyone knows there's one rule in thrash. If you want to make a moshing anthem, you must state your name in the lyrics. We just happen to get both these to match up here. And this was one I really had to let my bias get out of the way. Because as much as I love Rattlehead, it's freaking Whiplash, man. This shit is hype. Chosen Ones is a very interesting song to me, as I feel it's completely different from the other tracks. It actually sounds like it would have fit right in on Kill 'Em All. It also reminds me, feeling-wise, of a song we'll get to when we get to Ride the Lightning. Like other songs on this album, though, it never loses its groove, even when it devolves into a pure shred fest. As for Phantom Lord, it starts off aggressive and never lets up. Whereas Chosen Ones was a shred fest, this one is a riff fest, and I love me some riffs. The only downside I will say, though, is I feel the clean section doesn't belong here, as it just comes straight out of left field. Maybe with a little more build up to it, it would have fit better, but this is a thing Metallica obviously will come to master in the future albums. Another pretty insane matchup as two of my favorite songs from each band go head to head. And man, was it a toughie. To me, Looking Down the Cross is possibly the most underrated Megadeth song of all time. The atmosphere, the riffs, the continuous build up, and that payoff is one of the best out there. No Remorse ain't no slouch though. I love every riff in this song. It also has one of my favorite Metallica choruses ever. And it gave birth to the outro riff Metallica would stick on to many more in the future when playing live. But in this battle of songs, I have to give it to Megadeth. Seriously, if you have not heard Looking Down the Cross, please do yourself a favor and go check it out. The song shift that needed to happen for obvious reasons. For Metallica fans that do not know, and vice versa, but let's be honest, it's mainly the former. The Four Horsemen was originally Mechanics. Just slow down with a lot added to it. But did it make the song better? In my opinion, no. They added a lot to try to make the song sound more epic, but I think they went too far, with some parts just not meshing really well. Mechanics, even when it was a Metallica song, which you can go back and hear on their demo tape, or find it on YouTube, is pure thrash aggressiveness. Especially if you listen to the demo version on Killing Is My Business. That shit is crazy. But we aren't talking about that. The original version of this song is pure. Definitely not lyrically. And it's what early thrash was supposed to be. I will give one thing to Four Horsemen though. It is the precursor to the style of music Metallica would start to make. An omen. How fitting. Now, Kill 'Em All has 2 more tracks, and I will be rewarding a bonus point for Seek and Destroy. Obviously. Metal Militia comes damn close. While I do overall enjoy the song, the verse riff is not that great, let's be honest. The pull-off riff, to be clear. The rest is damn good. But with Seek and Destroy, they were able to seek out the win and destroy round 1 for the first victory. If you were to ask me before I made this, I would say KIMB is better. But you cannot deny the classics on Kill 'Em All. And they're what helped pull it out to victory. Can Megadeth bounce back as we pit P-Cells against Ride the Lightning? Tune in next week to find out. As always, if you haven't done so, please consider subscribing. I have the goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers before my birthday next month. We could do it with the surge, so if you have not subscribed, please consider doing so. Also, if you want to help support me directly, I'm a guy doing this all by himself. I need all the help I can get. I'm a poor boy. Patreon.com/Fenrirock. 3 different tiers. 3rd tier has merch. Just check out the different tiers. Just give them a glance. Have exclusive content over there. Have early access content over there. Have extended versions of copyright stuff, which you can't post on YouTube, but you're able to post on other websites. Quote, quote. Just stay tuned there. Patreon's going to be a fun place to be. Stay tuned. As always, though, the name is David, but you can call me Fenrirock. I am seriously still surprised, actually, how this one went. I told you my bias wouldn't matter. Take care.